always want to look at the productive ability of the asset you're buying, whether it's a farm, apartment house, or a company, but the company is represented by a stock. And if you always get your money's worth, you'll do very well.
All right, so you have a few $100s to invest. But what do you do with all that money? Should you hide it under a mattress? Should you pour some whiskey over the whole thing and start a bonfire? Well, none of those. Then, should you spend it on stocks? Yes. For those who have been watching my previous videos, you have all the confidence in the world to create a portfolio of the best stocks now, or at least try to make some money on your $100, and you're ready to start hunting for your first penny stock. But don't fire up Yahoo Finance just yet. Before you make your first investment, stop the rush and watch this video. This video will give you excellent tips on stock evaluation and places to start, plus a bonus for those sticking to the end. Step 1. Choose your stock market investment strategy. Do you want the freedom to select your stocks, or would you like an expert to choose for you? Consider these 4 strategies for picking a winning company. Number 1. Price is not as crucial as the company's quality. Apple is the ideal illustration of this. Despite rarely trading at a low price, the computer giant has consistently paid investors handsomely over the years, primarily because of its outstanding return on invested capital, ROIC, averaging about 20% for more than 10 years. Stock prices are essential, but they must be considered in the context of other performance indicators like ROIC. Low ROIC companies that are inexpensive will probably underperform high ROIC firms that are pricey. Remember that. A low price does not always translate into a smart purchase. Stocks frequently trade at a discount for a good reason. Number 2. Instead of attempting to be intelligent, avoid making ridiculous errors. Most investors attempt to beat the market to increase their profits, but this is typically a fool's errand. After all, according to Warren Buffett, avoiding foolish mistakes is more critical for investing success than being brilliant. The stock market is one of the few places where you can consistently outperform the norm by making rational, average judgments over a lengthy period. But of course, it would help if you merely avoided mistakes, especially during a down market, so you don't need to be a genius. Long-term returns will be outstanding if you can avoid mistakes like selling stocks at the bottom of the market, chasing buzz stocks without doing your research, or attempting to time the market. Number 3. Prioritize the macrophages over the macrophages. Warren Buffett and late Charlie Munger have repeatedly indicated that they are not interested in basing their investment choices on the macroeconomic climate. Numerous comments similar to this one from Munger over the years. I've never earned any money on huge macroeconomic estimates, and Warren hasn't either.
Now, some people can't tell their best ideas from their worst, and in the act of deciding that an investment already is good, they get to thinking it's better than it is. I think we make fewer mistakes like that than other people, and that is a blessing to us. We're not so smart, but we kind of know where the edge of our smartness is. That is a very important part of practical intelligence. And a lot of people who are geniuses on IQ tests think they're a lot smarter than they are, and what they are is dangerous.
The macro environment is extraordinarily unpredictable and subject to sudden changes. As a result, even the most talented economists in the world frequently mispredict the future. This was the conclusion reached even by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, in a 2018 study on the accuracy of economists' recession predictions, which found that forecasts were, by a substantial margin, off. However, excellent enterprises will continue to operate at a high level and generate profits regardless of the macroeconomic environment. Number 4. Diversification is beneficial to a certain extent. Another insightful statement by Munger was, "The idea of excessive variety is folly." Maintaining track of your equities gets more difficult as you add more to your portfolio. Additionally, you reduce your potential upside, eventually attaining market average returns. One of the cornerstones of long-term investment is still diversifying your portfolio, but Munger was cautioning against adopting over-diversification as a crutch. For example, it would help if you didn't acquire lots of stocks to avoid learning about your businesses. Long-term success will be much enhanced if you can merely avoid major blunders like excessive diversification, putting all of your attention on pricing, or timing the market to coincide with the macroeconomy. Charlie Munger was a stock picker for Berkshire Hathaway. His philosophy on investing is that you should own things you can understand and be able to bet on those bets your whole life. He said that if you want to invest in something you don't understand, get an investor to buy some before they do it. Step 2. Select a brokerage account. A brokerage account is a contingency reserve used to purchase and trade securities, including stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs. Choosing the incorrect brokerage account could cost you a lot of money, especially if you miss current significant cash incentives and rewards programs. You can quickly register a brokerage account with numerous brokers online, and you typically don't need much money. Several brokerage companies permit you to start an account without placing any upfront investments. However, before investing, you must fund the account. After that, you can transfer money from another brokerage account, your checking or savings account, or both. The funds and investments in your brokerage account are your property, and you can sell them anytime. The broker manages your account and is a go-between for you and the securities you want to buy.
The most important thing is to be able to define which ones you can come to an intelligent decision on and which ones are beyond your capacity to evaluate. You don't have to be right about thousands and thousands and thousands of companies. You only have to be right about a couple.
For those seeking to take control of their financial future, platforms like Interactive Brokers can provide access to a wide range of investment opportunities, allowing individuals to participate in the market and potentially build wealth over time. Click the first link in the description to learn more. As a beginner, you want something friendly and straightforward to use. Here's a list for you to choose from. 1. Interactive Brokers. 2. SoFi Active Investing. 3. TD Ameritrade. 4. Vanguard. 5. Fidelity. 6. Charles Schwab. 7. Ally Investments. 8. Merrill Edge. And lastly, First Trade. Step 3. What's a stock and what's a fund? Have you ever wondered why people buy stocks? Or how to set up a simple investing plan? Well, the answer is simple. They buy shares of companies that produce something useful or sell things that others want to buy. You see, the primary purpose of buying stocks is to make money. However, you don't have to know about the complex world of investing to achieve this goal. After all, not everybody wants to be an expert at stock investing and research stocks for several hours daily. That's why I am here to help you understand what it takes to invest in stocks and funds. So say goodbye to confusing stock jargon such as earnings per share, EPS, and dividend yield. I'll show you how they work and how they can benefit your portfolio. First is by hitting that subscribe button and turning on the notifications. For most people, stock market investing means choosing between one of these two investment types: individual stocks. These are shares in companies. They're bought and sold on the open market, meaning you can buy them whenever you like at the current market price. Next are common stocks, also known as mutuals. These are shares in corporations that most investors own for economic reasons. Because they hold some stock, they'll get dividends as a part of a company's profit. When companies pay out their earnings as dividends, these payments don't count as income for tax purposes, but help fill people's bank accounts monthly. Simply, like a grocery store, a stock market allows you to buy and sell shares. Examples of stocks to start with as a beginner include Apple Incorporated, AAPL, Microsoft Corporation, MSFT, Alphabet Incorporated, Google, Coca-Cola Company, KO, Costco Wholesale Corporation, COST, Pfizer Incorporated, PFE, a T&T Incorporated T, NextEra Energy Incorporated. On the other hand, funds are usually pools of cash invested in securities from multiple companies or industries. As a beginner, you can invest in funds like short-term government bond funds, short-term corporate bond funds, S&P 500 index funds, dividend stock funds, and value stock funds, exchange-traded funds, ETFs. Now, you know the difference. Bingo! Let's go to the next step. Step 4. Ask yourself, how much do I want to invest? Should I invest $100 or $1,000 or $10,000? What's your budget? What will it take for you to join the ranks of those who make a healthy return on their stocks? But how much of your income should go toward investing? Stock market investing is an investment philosophy that uses capital to gain monetary profit. Investing in the stock market can be very profitable, but it can also be risky. The amount of money you risk and how long you invest will determine whether you will make or lose it. For this reason, it is important to consider setting budgets for your stock market investments. The 50-15-5 rule is used by Matt Rogers, a CFP and the head of budgeting at eMoney Advisor. as a benchmark for the amount you should consistently fund. Step 5. Put your attention on long-term investing. Charlie Munger told investors that buy and hold is the best strategy for long-term investment success. While it is admittedly true that you can achieve better profits by reinvesting dividends or taking advantage of capital gains on stocks or bonds, there are many other advantages of buying a stock or bond with a long-term view. Munger's investment philosophy was to look beyond short-term economic fluctuations and find outstanding companies with good products and excellent management. His approach differed from traditional investors because he doesn't pay much attention to macroeconomic trends or market movements. Instead, he believed that good businesses are worth investing in regardless of whether the economy thrives or stagnates. Learning how to invest in the stock market may seem complicated, but determining which investment strategy makes sense is only a matter of understanding how to manage your money. Oh, you're still there. Here's a bonus for you. Be vivacious. Self-pity was one of the things Charlie Munger despised the most. Given his circumstances, Munger could have easily turned to booze or drugs to distract himself from his problems. He didn't, though. Instead, he lacked the willpower to give in to feelings of self-pity. If anyone can help you through your terrible times, you, is one of Munger's most famous quotations. Self-pity solicits sympathy from others. Self-pity demands sympathy from others. But what it accomplishes is to push. Applying the same principle to equity trading, all traders and investors must see the positive aspects of the scenario rather than bemoan them. It was the money you had put in. If your business is booming, you rejoice. If you are not successful, you move on. The only genuine way to solve a problem is to err on caution. Investing in stocks and funds is a great way to grow your money. However, whether you're a beginner or have been around the block, the stock market can be pretty intimidating, especially when you have no idea where to start. Luckily, I'll use plenty of tools in my next video to show you how to build your personalized portfolio. Subscribe for more. If you are concerned about your financial security and are thinking about investing, check out the first link in the description. It's the platform I use, Interactive Brokers. Click the link to learn more. Challenges for the economy. If you're excited to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications.